Hello everyone, I'm FARMERSIM and welcome back to Riverbend Springs. I do hope you're doing very well and having a wonderful day. So, we're in exactly the same point as we were at the end of the last episode, and there's a mod that I've already added into the game. It's just been released on the mod hub. Ironically, not long after the comment I made in the last episode about it being strange seeing relatively sharp-edged round bales. We have the rounder wrapped bale mod installed now already. That's already been released onto the mod hub. So very, very grateful for that. There we go. So that's those are our silage bales. Obviously, I'm just going to leave them in the field until I decide what to do with them. Obviously, we're going to be selling them. I think that's pretty much the score with those. But as I don't have anywhere to store them, and it's a right faff to stick them all on the trailer, and I don't want to take up the trailer and just let them sit there, so if I put them on the trailer, I'm only going to have to take them off, so we'll just let them sit there for a bit until they're ready to go, and then I can figure out, well, I can then sort out what to do with that field. Obviously, I think I said a couple of episodes ago that the plan is to join this field here and the sunflower field that's in the distance there, just next to it. Once we've got those sunflowers harvested, I'm then going to join these two fields up, and for that I'm going to need to lease a plough. So if I'm going to lease a plough, I may as well do it all at the same time, get these two fields ploughed under and turned into one, and then also work into this field as well. And it's quite interesting, actually. Those of you, I know that the game has been reported that there are some occasional stuttering issues now and again, and if I look over there, everything's tickety-boo, everything's smooth as you like. But then when I turn around here and look at my bales, even though I'm right in the top corner of the map, the FPS drops right into the 40s there. Not too sure why that is. I'm only assuming it's because of the bales, because it didn't do it there before the bales. But hey ho, it is what it is. But as you can see, let me just alter the time back to normal there. I turned it down to half speed just while I was faffing about figuring out what I'm doing. As you can see, I've taken on another couple of contracts. One of them is a cotton spraying contract up in the northwest of the map. It's a cotton field, field 24 I think it is. We're spraying that with herbicide to get rid of the weeds. And I've taken on another harvesting contract. This is a field of canola in field 76, which is down towards the southeast of the map. So we're going to crack on and get those done, and I'm going to try my best to squeeze them into this in-game day. It is 3:45 in the afternoon. I appreciate that. We're on our way to the store now because we've leased, or we've borrowed, sorry, a big herbicide sprayer to get this contract done. And obviously we don't need to borrow any equipment to do the harvesting contract. We've got all that to do ourselves. But it was only a few dollars, sorry, less than what the contract was paying to lease this big piece of equipment. So I've got that sat at the shop. I have purchased one tote of herbicide, 2,000 litres, hoping that should be enough to do the job, but we shall see. But this is actually now my first opportunity to respond to all of your wonderful comments from episodes 1 and 2. Obviously I recorded episode 2 before episode 1 had came out, so now is my first opportunity to firstly just say a massive thank you to you all. I'm so grateful and so happy that this series so far has been so wonderfully well received. I'm really glad you're enjoying it. I must admit, I'm the same. I'm absolutely loving it. This map is, quite frankly, spectacular. Absolutely love it. So, but yeah, one of the main things that I needed to take from the first episode was, and I think it's one of the points that got probably the most comments, which I'm very grateful to you all for, but it was when I stated in the first episode that I couldn't seem to find where the weather reporting was in the in-game menus. And it was right in front of me, as many of you told me, and again, I've responded to every comment, and I'm very grateful to you all. But yeah, that was entirely my fault. I was recording the video well into the early hours of the morning on that particular day. It was release day. That was when I was recording it that night, and it was somewhere around 1 AM, 1:30, whatever. And I'm sure we've all been there before, you know, when you just... your brain just goes to sleep, and it doesn't necessarily take in some of the most obvious things that are in front of you. And it was quite literally in front of me. So thank you very much to you all. Yes, I know exactly now where the weather reporting is. Yeah, and I'm awake. That's all that matters now while recording this episode. Now I know for future reference, don't try and do that into the depths of the night. It's not a good idea. You just end up looking like a complete tool. Anyway, so we're off, like I say, we're off up to field 24 to get this done. There is still a bit of stuttering going on. I know I said it quite a bit in the last episode. I have worked very, very hard to try and make sure that this game runs as smoothly as possible. Take your time, love. Yeah, but even now, as I'm driving along in this, in fact, let's just unlock up to 60 there. It does seem to still be occasionally stuttering, but then again, at the same time, they take the time, these locals, don't they? I mean, don't make an effort to hurry across the road or anything. I'll wait. It's alright. It's only fuel. Yeah. So, yeah, I've tried very hard to make sure that this game appears looking as good as possible. But it's as good as it can be. What can I say? Right. Let's cross the road. I think the field we are working in is just beyond those trees over there. It's not too big, but it's not too small either. I don't think it's going to take me very long to get this job done in this big machine. Now what I'm going to do, because we've got this contract to do, and because we've got the harvesting contract to do as well, one of the reasons why I wanted to take them on at this late stage in the day is obviously because the game has had quite a bit of reworking when it comes to its lighting. So I'm partially kind of hoping that when it comes to the harvesting contract especially, we're going to be doing that into the evening as the light starts to dim, and I'm very excited to see what it looks like. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop both of these jobs into one cinematic. I'm just going to put one music track behind it and just kind of cram the whole thing in, me getting this job done. Oh, I do hope I've got enough. Like I say, I've only spent $2,400 on one tote of 2,000 litres of herbicide. So I'm hoping that goes the distance with this one. I might live to regret that, as I usually do. But we shall see. But yeah, I'm going to pop this job and the harvesting job into one cinematic, because I've already done a couple of harvesting cinematics already throughout this series, so I don't want to bore you to death with another one. But I will just do a little bit, but I suppose predominantly I'll... In fact, you know what, I'll play it by ear. I'll see whether we get this one, whether there's enough time and footage to put this into one cinematic. If I do, I might just have to get the harvesting contract done off camera. One reason, of course, the two reasons, I suppose, the reasons why I've gone for these particular contracts. If I go into the contracts menu, they're both paying reasonable amounts of money. The harvesting is paying $13,241. I am very keen to see if this one completes and does it properly. There was a couple of comments as a result of the last episode when I had that little bit of a hiccup with the harvesting contract, that it was mentioned to me that it could be because of the fact I had straw swaths enabled on the harvester. Now, even though I've cancelled the contract, currently now, there are still, the straw swaths from that job are still sat in the field, even though the cart, if I again go into that, as you can see, that's the oh goodness me, press it did this to me before. You see that now? I can't actually go to the active contracts menu. It's just letting me, it's just flicking, and anyway, there's not much I can do about that aside from coming in and out of the game, but I'm not going to do that now. But yeah, essentially the straw swaths are still in that field. I did try and pick them up after cancelling the contract, but naturally it says, you know, this field doesn't belong to you. You can't have, you know, I can't do anything with them. But I've got a funny feeling, thanks to a couple of comments in the comments of the last episode, that might be one of the reasons. So I'm going to make sure that straw swaths are turned off for the next contract and just see if it does complete, and we'll go from there. So anyway, enough of my waffle. I shall get these jobs done, and you'll either see a bit of both in the cinematic or just this herbicide spraying. But either way, I will pick you up in a wee while's time when both jobs are done and there's a bit more money in the bank account. So, see you in a bit.
What you're putting in, all your hopes and efforts are all in vain. Who will pick you up everything? Does it all become for granted with a wedding ring? Oh, there must be more. There must be another way. There must be conscience. Different things in different ways. There must be love. There must be a reason. And a little bit of faith has got to come my way. I was just a little girl when my mama used to say, ooh, happiness requires work every day. Oh, and if that someone makes you smile and leaves you with a scar, don't let them tell you what you feel or who you are. Oh, there must be more. There must be another way. There must be conscience. Different things in different ways. There must be love. There must be a reason. And a little bit of faith has got to come my way. I give it all to you for too There must be more. There must be another way. There must be conscience. Different things in different ways. There must be more to the reason why we do it all for love. There must be more for a reason, and a little bit of faith has got to come my way. Has got to come my way. Has got to come my way.
Right, so almost finished the harvesting contract now. As you can see, the harvester's still working in the last couple of up and down rows, and this is our first trailer load of grain of canola to take to the sell point. So we're just going to make our way over there now. But as you can see from the top right hand corner, everything seems to be going as it should be with this contract. We're currently at 77% completed. I haven't dropped a single bit of grain into the destination, the sell point, the tip point, whatever you want to call it. So I think everything is tickety-boo. But like I said before, there's the field we worked in the last episode, even though it's been cancelled. And I know from like the way Farming Simulator 22 used to behave, as soon as you finished or cancelled the contract, the field itself would immediately change its form, so to speak. But this hasn't. It's still harvested with all the straw there. So whether that's something to do with the fact that I had the straw swaths enabled, or whether there's just a problem with that field, because that was mentioned in the comments as well, that some people thought that maybe there was a problem with that field because a lot of you have had issues in that field. So either way, we don't know. The main thing is this one that I'm doing now seems to be working just fine. So we're going to take ourselves over to the sell point, and we've got a bit of a drive ahead of us, but I thought I'd take you with me because I think that's half the joy of exploring a new map, isn't it? Is to go and see the places that we haven't been to yet. And come on, sausage, up the hill. 9 miles an hour. Goodness me, to be fair, we have got a bit of weight behind this. It is quite a big trailer, this, to be fair. This is only a medium tractor. And we do have, what have we got? Just under 30,000 litres of canola, so there is a bit of mass in there, isn't there? So anyway, right, so the report on the cotton harvest, cotton spray contract. I haven't yet turned either of the contracts in, but regarding the herbicide that I needed, I did, like I said before, I bought only one tote, 2,000 litres, and we did actually run out halfway round. So instead of going back to the shop and spending $2,400 on 2,000 litres of herbicide, I literally just flicked the switch to enable the AI worker to purchase the fertiliser as it's working, and it ended up being the right decision for once. We spent in total $1,953. $1,712 of that was on herbicide and $241 of that was on wages. So forgive me, actually, let me just make sure. Right, no, it's the next one I need to take. So yeah, that was actually the right decision. It ended up being marginally cheaper to do it that way than stop halfway around, go back to the shop and buy another $2,400 worth of herbicide. So that's all good. But I believe this is our turning. Yep, we need to hang a right here. It is a beautiful map. Forgive me, I know I'm repeating myself here, but I really, really do love the way this map feels. It's really very special. Giants have properly outdone themselves with this map. They really have. I just love the authenticity and the feeling that this gives off. I mean, I suppose it's added to as well by the wonderful new features that the game's got, the lighting and the all the fog and all that kind of stuff. But it's an absolute corker. Goodness me, come on. 5 miles an hour now, goodness. Come on. But we're taking the sell point, oh, sorry, the tip point for this contract is at a place down by the river here, so I'm going to need to find my way to that. But it is a lovely looking thing, I've got to say. Again, just one of the many things that add to the way this map feels. Oh, looking in my mirror there, looks like I've got a bit of traffic. Goodness me, and a postal van. Impatient postman Pat there. Right, in fact, let me just... Right, so I want to be hanging a right here, I think. Following the postman. And him as well. Right, so... This looks like us down here. On this lovely little windy road through the woods. Yeah, that's us there, I think. Let me just visit round here just to give myself a nice straight line into it. This is us, isn't it? Let's just completely check. Grain Barge Terminal 2. And in the contracts, Grain Barge Terminal 2. Right, excellent. This is us. So, let's pull over the grate. That'll be interesting to see how much. So we're at 80% now. Got a full trailer load. Well, we might potentially get there. Maybe. %, 83% transported. Okay, so I was hoping we might have completed the contract with just that one trailer load, but no, wishful thinking and all that. Right, so back we go. I'll get this contract completely finished off, and then I'll pick you back up again before we turn them in. Now, the reason why I wanted to take on these contracts, and the reason why I've gone for these two in particular, when it comes to contracts, I much prefer to try and get as much money in as possible. I don't tend to go for the less lucrative contracts, just because if there's a contract for $10,000, I'd rather go for that than one that's paying $2,000 or $1,000. Just because if I'm going to do a contract, I'd prefer it. Sorry, to be one that increases the bank balance by a decent amount. So yeah, so collectively we've got, I think, over 20 grand's worth of income coming in shortly, so that's good. Now, another pointer as well, literally while I've been recording this episode, I had a handful of comments on episode 2, and one of you, Old Drew, hello mate, if you're well, hope everything's good, really appreciate your comment regarding the collectibles. He told me that the collectibles are actually worth $10,000 each on this map, which I didn't appreciate. I just assumed they would have been about the same as the previous game, which was about $1,000 each, wasn't it? So yeah, 10 grand each. Now, collectibles, with this being a Let's Play, it's not like a real, well, it's not a super realistic role play or anything like that. With it just being a Let's Play, in my mind anyway, the whole point of a Let's Play is to play the game, but take advantage of the things that are in the game. And I know, going back to FARMERSIM 22, some people, I think the opinions were divided with whether collectibles should be done or not, because it can give you quite a decent chunk of money into the bank account. But they are a one and done thing, aren't they? You know, there's 25 on this map at 10 grand each. That's what we got, 250 grand. So that might be worth a hunt, as it were. I've got no idea what they look like. I assumed wrongfully, because there's a handful of beach balls I've seen on a couple of the maps, and I thought those were the collectibles, but they're not. So I might at some point have a bit of a hunt around and see if I can find any of them. But yeah, with them being a one and done thing, I'm more than happy to do those. Hello, looks like our combine is finished there. It looks like it's sat still on the top of the hill there. So yeah, we'll get this contract boxed off. I'll get the grain taken back to where we've just been. I'll get all the equipment back over to home, and I'll pick you up when we're finished. Now, like a magpie to a shiny thing, now that I've got this idea of collectibles in my head, I figured I'd just have a bit of a hunt around while I was on my way to the tip point with this last trailer load. And sure enough, I've managed to find one. It's taken me a few moments, I'll be honest, but the reason why I did it is just because while I'm up at this top corner of the map, or sorry, this bottom corner of the map, I thought I'd just have an explore around the building. So if I go into the map PDA, I'm down here right now, and this was the road that we took previously just to get to the tip point, which is there. And I just thought I'd take the next junction and go up here because I noticed there was 2 buildings here, and obviously, ordinarily, I'm not necessarily going to spend a huge amount of time over this corner of the map. So I figured I'd have a look. I saw a thing, because I've got no idea what these collectibles look like. I thought initially it might be something to do like that bright blue chair there, but no, can't even get in there. So I've had a bit of a hunt around, and sure enough... Now, the reason why I'm bringing you with me on this one is because, well, they're kind of difficult to see. Initially, I was trying to get over here, and it didn't really let me, so I kind of climbed over there. Obviously, it's let me now because it actually... The jumping mechanics on this game are a little bit funny, aren't they? You kind of take off and float for a few minutes, a few seconds. But, sure enough, you'd expect to find a collectible in a room like this, wouldn't you? Just with all these little bits of woodwork tools and paraphernalia lying around, you'd expect it to be something like that. But sure enough, this is what it is, I think. So, there we go. Can you find all of them? You found part of the Grain Elevator Museum, just 24 left. Oh, okay. What was it I've just picked up? I thought it was the chair, because when I came up to the chair, the collect message came up in the top left-hand corner. I didn't actually appreciate what that was then. Oh, was it one of these little wheels or something? Anyway, I don't know. We've just got 10 grand into the bank. That's all that matters. But I just thought I'd bring you with me on that one. When I discovered that little collectible there, I thought, well, they are quite tricky to find. And I've still got no idea what it was. So, I might have to watch that bit of footage back and just see if I can see something disappearing off the surface of that worktop, perhaps. But either way, 10 grand, that'll do. And we haven't turned in the contracts yet, so that's absolutely brilliant as well. So, I hope that's a little tip, a little helpful anyway, for any of you who are looking to do the collectibles. They're particularly challenging to find, but there's one, so 24 to go. I'll just have to spend a bit of time now, off camera now and again. I'll see a building that looks interesting, and have a bit of a sniff around, see if I can find something worth finding, because 10 grand a go, that's not to be sniffed at. Right, so, do you know what, you may as well just come with me now while I'm here, aren't we? see what extra monies we get from any extra residual crop. So let's wind away down the lane again. Jump out of cab mode just for the purposes of making this a little bit easier. There we go. Right, so let's see what we get. $2,165, and the contract is finished. Brilliant. Very happy with that. So let's jump into that contracts menu now. There we go. So, whoa. What do you mean? Hang on a minute. What's going on here? Oh, there we go. Goodness me, do you know what? Yeah, something that wasn't right, was it? Did you see that for a second? It just hadn't updated itself. Yeah, these contracts definitely need a little bit of looking at from Giants, don't they? To smoothen them out a bit. I was getting really worried then, because it was... Yeah. Anyway, right, come on. So, we've got $9,892 to collect from this one. That's obviously the contract reward minus the lease of the big sprayer. So let's collect that. Thank you very much. And the first of our successful harvesting contracts completed. Boom. Why aren't you? It's goodness, he's doing it again. It's not. Oh, come on. What are you doing here now? Oh, there we go. 67,994. Right. That was definitely a little bit ropey there, wasn't it? There you go. Time-saving stock check. Working wonders, as you can see there. Very fortunate to be given a pre-release version from Mark at TW Productions. But yeah, we've got 112,000 litres of grass sitting in the field in bale form, fermenting away, and 53,473 of wheat. So that's excellent. Right. Finances, that's what I was looking at, wasn't it? There we go. So we should see somewhere in the region of contract income 36,779. Yeah, that's right, isn't it? Again, I was getting worried then. Part of my mind then, as I was trying to turn in that active contract, part of me was worried that it had given me twice as much money, because it seemed to freeze on one of the screens there, and I was worried that it's actually given me twice as much money as it should have done. But no, that's the harvesting contract that we bought in from the last episode as well. So 36,779, there we go, and 10 grand miscellaneous. That's the collectible there. So a bank balance of almost 70 grand. Very happy with that. Very happy with that indeed. So let's get ourselves back to the farm. Hello. I suppose that is my fault, because I'm now turning around and driving down a one-way street, aren't I? It's not the best thing to do, is it? In fact, I should really try and go the right way, shouldn't I? So let's turn around this way, hoping this is the right direction. That's the same direction that the AI traffic drove in, isn't it? So, right, anyway, back to the farm. I'll get everything there, and I'll pick you back up when we're there and tidied up. Right then, this is us back at the farm. So it would appear that I think there is definitely something wrong with field 77. The only reason why I say that is because obviously I've turned in the contract for the field that we've just done the work in. Field 77 is the one that we harvested in the last episode. And I need to park up here so that I can wash my harvester, but I'm not going to do that right away. Yeah, I think there's definitely something wrong with 77, purely because after turning in the contract that we've just done, the field state turned from a freshly harvested state straight into a freshly harvested state rammed full of weeds, whereas the 77 that we did in the last episode, that hasn't changed state at all. It's still just got the straw swaths in, so potentially, yeah, I think it's there's something up with that field. But anyway, $67,994 in the bank account. Now, the reason why I started off this episode and selected a couple of more contracts to do is because I wanted to spend some money on a greenhouse, just so that we can start producing some of our own produce and start making a little bit of money from it. So yeah, and with that in mind, the amount of money I had at the beginning of this episode, based on and weighing that up against the amount of money I wanted to spend on a greenhouse and possibly a water tanker as well, I felt I needed to get some more money into the bank account before I did that. So that's exactly what we're going to do. So let's jump into our construction menu. We're already in the greenhouses here. I've just been checking things out. Now, I could go for a nice cheap $3,000 option, but I'm not. We're going to go for this one, $36,000. Now, it does say overlaps with another object, even though it literally doesn't. But if you, I know a few, I'm sure a lot of us have experienced this weird, the large amount of restrictions that we've got in the construction menu at the minute. But in the F1 menu that's visible there, we do have the free mode that you can toggle on or off. So at the minute, it says it's overlapping with another object, which is clearly nonsense because it's not. But if I toggle free mode, there we go. And because the land is perfectly flat, that should, let me just get that nicely lined up there, square with the lane there. Right, so, boom. There we go. And we've still got just over 30 grand in the bank. So, excellent stuff. Now, what these greenhouses allow me to grow are, we've got the option for chili peppers, spring onions, lettuce, Napa cabbage, strawberries, garlic, or tomatoes, which is a nice addition to what we had in the previous greenhouses back over on 22, where it was pretty much just lettuce, tomatoes, and there was something else, I think, maybe, but either way, I've looked at the prices available for the prices that we can get for all of those products, and the most valuable, which is the reason why we're doing this, is to make money. The most valuable is still lettuce. So as much as it would have been nice for a bit of variation, especially coming over from 22, to get more money for the likes of chili peppers and spring onions and stuff, it's still lettuces that seem to be the most valuable thing to grow. So with that in mind, I think we are going to still go for lettuces. But in order to do that, what I do need to do is I need to add some water. And in order to add water, I need a water tank. So that's exactly what we're going to do. And if this is going to be, if this is going to create any kind of an income for us into the future and going forward into the future on this series, the reality is I need to buy myself a water tank, not just lease one. So that's exactly what we're going to do. In fact, we'll do that as well. So let's pop into the menu here. Let's go into our machinery. Now, I think it's still in animals, isn't it? Let's scroll down. Animals. Barrels. Okay. So 2,080 litres. Well, that's all we can afford, isn't it? I'm not going to be spending 17 grand on a water tanker. So 5,850. It's got to be for 2,080 litre capacity. Yep. May as well be that, mightn't it? So, in fact, no, let's make sure that it's got, just for the sake of detail, make sure it's got the right number plate so it matches the number plate of the tractor. So, there we go. FARMERSIM. Excellent. Okay. £5,850. Right, so bank account balance back down to a relatively normal $26,000, which is fine. But we've now got some greenhouses, the potential to earn a little bit more money eventually. We've got the trailer. I suppose on top of that, we're going to need a pallet fork, aren't we, to be able to load the pallets of produce, of lettuce, and other things out of the greenhouse. And the other thing I need to do is find somewhere to load up with water. I am still hoping that we're going to be able to essentially just dunk it into a river and fill it up for free. I hope it's not going to cost me any money to fill up with water, but we'll find out. So, I'll make my way to the shop, pick up this trailer. I'll see you in a moment. There's a prime spot, isn't there? I think that's where I'll try and fill up with water. So yeah, see you in a few moments. Right, let's see if we can give this trailer a light dunking into this little bit of river. I hope I'm not going to live to regret this, but we shall see. Just carefully. I hope I'm not going to end up dunking the tractor in there, that's for sure. Can I get down there? It looked like I could. Come on. Oh, I had it there. Refill mobile water tank. do hope that as the tanker gets heavier, it doesn't start to drag me down into the water. Right, there we go. And it's not charged me any money. Brilliant. Free water. Right, so let's go get this greenhouse topped up with a bit of water. Go from there. Right, so topping up this greenhouse with this tanker is very much like topping up a swimming pool with a coffee cup, it would seem. We've got a 2,000 litre capacity, but the total capacity of water within the greenhouse itself is 40,000 litres. Jumping into the production systems menu, as you can see there, yeah, it's quite a big one. So, it's going to take me a few trips back and to my newfound water point to get this completely topped up, but it's got to be done. So, I'll pick you up in a wee while's time. We'll stick a bit of music behind this backing and toing. I'll see you in a few minutes. There we go, job done. So, 40,000 litres deposited into our greenhouse here. So let's go turn everything on. Now I know I haven't got my icons turned on, but this is us here. So, everything is turned off at the minute, and I'm just going to go for lettuces. Now I know that's relatively unadventurous, obviously understanding that chili peppers and garlic and Napa cabbage and spring onions are all new to the game, but like I said, I'm doing this for money, and lettuces are the most valuable things that we can produce out of here. So for now, anyway, lettuces is what we shall grow. But hopefully now, moving into the near future anyway, this is our first of our income streams for our farm. So, very chuffed with that. Right, well, it's now the end of August. We do have 1 day months going on at the minute, but check out the lighting here. This is absolutely gorgeous. I was hoping to have been able to made it into a bit later on into the evening, I suppose, but we have managed to get quite a lot done, considering this is our first in-game day or month, or, we've got 3 episodes out of it. I do like to make use of all of the time we have available, and I think I've done that quite admirably, quite frankly. Like I say, 3 episodes out of 1 game day. We've made a bit of money. We've spent a bit of money. We've harvested a bit. But you know what? We're doing all right so far. I fully appreciate that we don't have a huge amount of equipment on the farm. There's a good handful of things that we haven't got yet. We haven't got a fertilizer spreader. I don't think, anyway. No, we haven't, have we? We've got a cultivator, we've got a seeder, we've got a tractor, a harvester. We've got a mower and a rower and a baler. And now a water tank. That's everything that we own. So yeah, I appreciate there are still quite a handful of bits of equipment that we still need to get hold of. But that gives us something to aim to, doesn't it? Maybe the collectibles coming together, if I'm lucky enough to find more than a few of them, they may certainly help out in purchasing a few more bits of equipment. But like I said earlier, I'm not I don't have a problem with doing the collectibles, because that's especially on a Let's Play series anyway, because it's a one and done thing. So and they're in the game, they're in the map. People have spent time creating them and putting them in the map for a reason. So I'm happy to do them. Anyway, right, so, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to call it here for today's episode. Thank you very much for watching. I really do hope you have enjoyed the video and found it a little bit of fun and a little bit interesting. As always, if you're new to the channel and you like my content, you like the way I'm doing things, please consider hitting that subscribe button and jumping on board, joining the channel. Please give the video a like if you can. It does do wonders, helps the YouTube algorithm do its thing. And as always, there are a handful of links in the video description below with my Giants Partner promo code. If any of you are in the market for purchasing Farming Simulator 25 or any of the handful of additional add-ons there are for that, and you like the idea of helping a content creator out and supporting their channel, as always, I would be massively, massively appreciative. So thank you again for your time, everyone. Take care, and I'll see you in the next episode.